Okay. Okay, so this is actually just a lesson to all content strategies here, lah. Okay, so it's the importance of narrative in delivering a lesson, right? So what I was trying to demonstrate just now was everyone was trying to explain what is the purpose of this whole thing. But let me tell you, do it in a story form, in a narrative, because a narrative is what actually captures people's attention and make explanation very clear. And a narrative and a story always have different characters and different kind of not just explaining the issue, but is about solving an issue, a protagonist, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so the background to this is our client Singapore Technologies asked us, okay, to assign different media types, okay, whether it's a playbook, video, or interactive slideshows, you know, to different content knowledge that they're asking us to teach. So they give us say, okay, you choose what kind of scenario where we use what kind of media, right? So it becomes something that is contentious, right? I mean, obviously we are paid more if we do videos, so we'll keep wanting to say videos, but then potentially the subject matter expert might come back and say, no, this is silly, we shouldn't use videos. So therefore, Grid Synergy created this framework, this process where a content strategist can justify and explain why certain types of knowledge can and should be matched with certain kind of media. So let me explain, right? So there are three kinds of information here, knowledge types. On the left-hand side of this chart are the kinds of knowledge that we are asked to disseminate. Okay, this ranges from, let's say, like for instance, give an example of a grenade. Okay, procedural knowledge on how to throw a grenade, okay, is one form of knowledge that we want to bring across, okay? But a product knowledge to explain how the grenade, parts of a grenade is the features and the functions is a certain kind of knowledge as well, okay? And then how, for instance, you create a lesson on how to throw a grenade, that's another way of teaching, right? So there are different kinds of knowledge. So whether it's grenade, a bionics vehicle, you know, a Air Force control aircraft, a mortar bomb, you know, how to use a sniper rifle, there's always different kinds of knowledge that we need to deliver. So that's one thing to take into consideration, okay? Another thing to take into consideration is what we call the learning objective, okay? So the learning objective sometimes is very different. So take, for instance, I want a soldier to generally remember, you know, what is the safety clip and safety pin of a grenade, okay? So you see the right at the bottom is remember. All I need is for the soldier to remember this, or that a grenade takes 6 seconds before it explodes. I need the soldier to remember that, right? Okay. But on the other hand, when it comes to safety, I need them to apply, okay? That once you throw a grenade, you need to duck under the parapet. That is very important, right? So I need them to apply it because it's for their own health and safety, right? And then, you know, at the very top level, maybe I'm teaching a commander how to actually create, you know, a lesson to teach, you know, the soldier to throw grenades. Or maybe something more technical, let's say a Python program that we've just been given. Okay, we were given actually 10 modules, and we're supposed to deliver in one bite-sized content, and we have to push that back. It says no way that can be done. But there's 10 modules, but you can actually break it up into 10 bite-sized content. But should this bite-sized content be slideshows, okay? Or should this bite-sized content be videos, correct? So there's a mixture, okay? So this is another very important area of learning to consider. Part of this is actually something that's outside the realm of learning, that is for reference. Okay, that means I don't need to even remember this. I give you this piece of paper, you can look at it. I don't need you to remember it. I just need you to have it as a reference. That is also a bite-sized content by itself. All right. So once we know the knowledge type, once we know the Bloom's taxonomy, then we look at the kind of media to be deployed according to these two parameters. Okay. So take, for instance, the safety of the grenade, right? we actually want people to apply it. So if you look at the sliding scale on the right-hand side, generally a video has more emotion, more interest, more retentive power, right? So we would suggest that the safety processes of a grenade be deployed using a video, all right? Whereas take, for instance, the infographic is useful to give a person an overview to remember what a grenade, the different parts is. I don't need him to sit through 3 minutes of video. I want him to look at the infographic, to look at the grenade and say, oh, okay, you know, it has this feature, that feature, that feature. Overall, I can just have an overview of that. Or even a slideshow. If let's say, for instance, I want to drill home the remembrance, the ability to recall that, you know, this is 6 seconds, then I choose a slideshow, you know, that I understand this 6 seconds is very important. So it's like a bridging between a feature and apply. So I can use a slideshow for that purpose, right? Okay. And then that is why different kind of media types can be used, okay, within different learning contexts, in order to deliver the learning outcomes and the kind of knowledge, right? So take, for instance, the unit that we're given 10 pieces of Python, you know, how to program it. So our recommendation to the client is that we should use videos. Why? Because at the end of it, you know, everybody can just go to a slideshow, right? And go through a very, you know, just procedurally how you program Python over the 10 modules. But actually what the learning objective calls for is that at the end of it, right, the soldier who looks at it will be able to apply and analyze, you know, the Python coding skills, right? So on that note, we suggest, therefore, that instead of a very dry slideshow, that the soldier be given, you know, 8 to 10 bite-sized content, and each one make it very interesting, you know, with examples and visuals to make the soldier more interested in it so that they will apply it accurately. And on top of that, to create a playbook, a non-interactive playbook as a reference, so that even as he goes through, he can tick off, okay, I've learned this, and all the knowledge is connected, okay? So that's the way that Grid Synergy decides, okay, how to use different media for different kind of knowledge types and different learning objectives, okay? How is that? Y'all get the picture now? Benny, scale of 0
Yeah, makes more sense.
level of understanding.
Yep, understand.